I want to talk about something we all experience at some point in life: people leaving. Relationships, friendships, even family bonds, sometimes they break, and people we thought would always be there drift away. It hurts, doesn't it? But what if I told you that sometimes letting them leave is the greatest gift they can give you? Let me say it loud and clear: let them leave you. Why? Because not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to finish it. Some people are only in your life for a season to teach you something or help you grow, but their season might end, and that's okay. You can't drag someone along on your path if their energy, vision, or purpose no longer aligns with yours. Think about this: growth is a lonely road. To grow into the person you're destined to become, you need to be willing to lose people who don't support or believe in that vision. If they're not clapping for you, cheering for you, or pushing you to be better, why would you want them to stay? Let me make this clear: your value does not diminish because someone walks away. It's not your job to beg anyone to stay in your life. If they leave, it means their part in your story is over. And that's not a loss, it's a lesson. When people leave, they create space for those who truly believe in you, space for opportunities that align with your purpose, space for peace. Yes, it's painful to let people go, especially if you care about them. But sometimes the pain of holding on is greater than the pain of letting go. You can't move forward if you're holding on to something or someone who's holding you back. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life, and that's a reality many of us struggle to accept. It's human nature to form attachments, to hold on to people we care about, and to hope that those relationships will last forever. But life doesn't work that way. People come into our lives for different reasons, and not all of them are meant to stay for the entire journey. This realization can be both painful and liberating, depending on how we choose to perceive it. I think about the people who have entered your life over the years. Some brought joy, support, and companionship, while others brought challenges, lessons, and even heartache. Each of these individuals played a role contributing to your growth in one way or another. But just as the seasons change, so do relationships. Some connections flourish and deepen, while others fade or come to an abrupt end. It's not necessarily anyone's fault. It's just the natural course of life. When someone leaves, it's easy to internalize that loss and question yourself. Did I do something wrong? Was I not enough? These questions can linger, gnawing at your confidence and self-worth. But here's the truth: their departure often has little to do with you and everything to do with where they are in their own journey. People leave for countless reasons. They outgrow the relationship, their priorities shift, or they find their path diverging from yours. And that's okay. It doesn't make them bad people, nor does it make you inadequate. It simply means that their part in your story is over. Holding on to someone who isn't meant to stay can be exhausting and counterproductive. It's like trying to keep a flower alive in soil that no longer supports it. You water it, nurture it, and hope for it to thrive, and no matter what you do, it wilts. Similarly, relationships that have run their course cannot be forced to last. Clinging to them only drains your energy and prevents you from moving forward. Letting someone go doesn't mean you don't care about them or that the time you shared wasn't meaningful. It simply means you're choosing to honor the natural flow of life. By letting them leave, you respect their need to grow, evolve, or find their own path, just as you need to focus on yours. It's an act of love, both for them and for yourself. This process of letting go is not without its challenges. The void left by someone's absence can be deeply felt, especially if that person was a significant part of your life. Memories, routines, and shared experiences can make it hard to imagine life without them. But just as the sun sets each day only to rise again, the end of one relationship makes way for new beginnings. In time, the pain of loss gives way to the promise of growth and renewal. When people leave, they create space for new relationships, new opportunities, and new perspectives. Imagine your life as a garden. If you cling to wilted flowers and weeds, there's no room for fresh blooms to grow. But when you clear the garden, you open it up to possibilities you never imagined. Similarly, letting go of people who are no longer meant to be in your life allows you to make room for those who truly align with your journey. It's also important to recognize that some departures are blessings in disguise. Not everyone who enters your life has your best interests at heart. Some relationships are toxic, draining, or one-sided, and holding on to them can do more harm than good. When such individuals leave, it's an opportunity to reclaim your peace, energy, and self-worth. Their absence might sting initially, but over time, you'll realize that letting them go was a necessary step toward your happiness and growth. This isn't to say that you should give up on relationships at the first sign of difficulty. Every meaningful connection requires effort, understanding, and compromise. But there's a difference between working through challenges together and holding on to someone who has already made up their mind to leave. If someone no longer wants to be a part of your life, chasing them or trying to convince them to stay only prolongs your suffering. Instead, let them go with grace and gratitude for the time you shared. Letting people leave doesn't mean you're cold-hearted or indifferent. It means you understand the value of your time, energy, and emotional well-being. It means you're choosing to surround yourself with people who uplift, support, and inspire you rather than those who drain or diminish you. And most importantly, it means you trust that life has a way of bringing the right people into your path. The people who are meant to stay in your life won't leave. They'll be there through the highs and lows, the triumphs and struggles. They'll celebrate your victories, comfort you in times of need, and challenge you to be the best version of yourself. These are the relationships worth nurturing, the ones that add value to your life. But to make space for these connections, you must be willing to let go of those who are no longer aligned with your journey. In the end, letting people leave is an act of faith in yourself, in the process of growth, and in the belief that everything happens for a reason. It's a reminder that your life is a journey, not a destination, and that every twist and turn, every hello and goodbye is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. So the next time someone chooses to leave, let them. Let them go with love, gratitude, and the knowledge that their departure is not the end, it's a new beginning. Your value is not defined by who stays in your life or who leaves. This is a profound truth that we often forget, especially when relationships end or people we care about walk away. It's natural to feel hurt, confused, or even betrayed when someone chooses to leave, but their decision says more about them and their journey than it does about your worth. Understanding this can free you from the emotional turmoil of seeking external validation and remind you of the power you hold within yourself. From a young age, many of us are conditioned to believe that our value is tied to how others perceive us. We want to be liked, loved, and appreciated, and we sometimes measure our self-worth by the approval or presence of others. But this mindset can be dangerous because it places your sense of worth in the hands of people who may not see or appreciate your true essence. When someone leaves, it can feel like a rejection of who you are, leading to self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy. Here's the truth: no one can define your worth except you. People's opinions, actions, or decisions are not a reflection of your value, but of their own perspective and circumstances. Someone leaving your life does not mean you are not enough. It simply means that they are choosing a path that doesn't include you, and that is their choice, not an indictment of your character, abilities, or potential. Think of it this way: your value is like the sun. Whether someone chooses to stand in its light or walk away to seek shade does not change the fact that the sun continues to shine. Similarly, your worth remains constant regardless of who chooses to stay in or leave your life. You are inherently valuable, not because of who acknowledges it, but because of who you are at your core. When you tie your self-worth to others, you give away your power. You become reliant on their presence, approval, or validation to feel good about yourself. This dependence can lead to desperation, making you cling to relationships that may not be healthy or beneficial for you. You might find yourself bending over backward to please others, sacrificing your own needs and boundaries in the process. But this is not love or respect, it's fear. Fear of being alone, fear of not being enough, fear of losing your identity in the absence of another. Reclaiming your self-worth means shifting your focus inward. It means recognizing and embracing your strengths, passions, and unique qualities. It's about celebrating who you are, flaws and all, without needing someone else to affirm your value. This doesn't mean you won't feel hurt or disappointed when someone leaves. It's human to feel those emotions. But it does mean that their departure won't shatter your sense of self. Instead, you'll be able to see it as a natural part of life, a redirection, rather than a rejection. Letting go of the need for external validation can be challenging, especially in a world that often emphasizes social approval. Social media, for instance, bombards us with curated images of perfect lives and relationships, making us question our own worth when we don't measure up. But the truth is, these external markers, likes, followers, or even the number of people in your life are superficial and fleeting. They do not define who you are or what you bring to the world. True self-worth comes from within. It's built on a foundation of self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-respect. It means understanding that you are a work in progress, constantly growing and evolving. It means giving yourself permission to make mistakes, to learn, and to prioritize your well-being. Most importantly, it means standing firm in the knowledge that you are enough, just as you are. When you embrace your intrinsic value, you approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. You no longer feel the need to hold on to people out of fear or insecurity. Instead, you can engage with others authentically, knowing that their presence in your life is a bonus, not a necessity. This mindset allows you to attract and nurture healthier, more fulfilling connections because they are built on mutual respect and appreciation rather than dependence or obligation. Understanding your worth also empowers you to set boundaries. When you value yourself, you recognize what you deserve and are unwilling to settle for less. This might mean walking away from toxic relationships, saying no to situations that compromise your integrity, or simply prioritizing your own needs over others' expectations. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it's a necessary act of self-care that reinforces your worth and protects your peace. It's important to remember that people's decisions to leave are often about them, not you. They might be dealing with their own struggles, insecurities, or changes in priorities. Their choice to walk away does not diminish your value, it simply reflects where they are in their journey. Trying to make sense of their actions or blaming yourself for their departure only keeps you stuck in a cycle of doubt and regret. Instead, focus on what you can control: your own growth, happiness, and self-worth. In the end, valuing yourself is about finding strength in your individuality. You are not defined by your relationships, your achievements, or the opinions of others. Your worth is inherent, unchanging, and uniquely yours. Embrace it, nurture it, and never let someone's decision to leave make you question it. When you stand firm in your value, you become unshakable. You no longer fear who comes or goes because you know that no matter what, you are enough. When people leave your life, they create space of truth that is often overlooked in the midst of the pain and confusion of loss. The absence left behind by someone who has moved on can feel empty, like a void that's impossible to fill. However, this emptiness is not something to fear. It is an opportunity, an opening for new experiences, new people, and new growth. The space created by someone's departure can become the fertile ground where something beautiful and transformative begins. Imagine your life as a vessel. It has a finite capacity, and every person, relationship, or commitment you allow into it takes up space. When someone leaves, they don't take away from your worth or completeness, they simply make room for something else. Initially, the emptiness might feel overwhelming, but this space is not a loss. It is an invitation for renewal, a blank canvas on which you can paint new possibilities. The people who leave your life often do so because their chapter in your story has come to an end. This doesn't mean their presence was meaningless. On the contrary, they may have taught you lessons, brought joy, or helped you grow in ways that were essential to your journey. But not all relationships are meant to last forever. When they end, it's a sign that their purpose has been fulfilled and that it's time to move forward. This newfound space allows you to reflect and rediscover yourself. When someone is a constant presence in your life, their influence can shape your choices, thoughts, and even your sense of identity. Their departure offers a chance to step back and examine who you are without them. What are your values, your goals, your passions? Sometimes the absence of someone else is what it takes to truly reconnect with yourself. This space enables you to realign your priorities. Perhaps you've been pouring energy into relationships or commitments that no longer serve you, leaving little room for what truly matters. When someone leaves, it's an opportunity to reassess where you're investing your time and energy. It's a chance to focus on the things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and purpose. Instead of lamenting the empty space, you can view it as freedom to explore new paths, deepen existing passions, or build new ones. Another significant benefit of the space created by someone's departure is the opportunity to welcome new people into your life. Every relationship takes emotional, mental, and sometimes physical space. When someone leaves, they create room for connections that are more aligned with who you are and where you're headed. These new relationships may offer support, inspiration, or companionship that better matches your current journey. But these new connections cannot happen unless you make room for them. And that often requires letting go of those who no longer belong in your life. Even beyond relationships, the space left by someone's absence can be a catalyst for personal growth. It may push you out of your comfort zone, encouraging you to face challenges you've been avoiding. Perhaps their departure forces you to take on responsibilities you previously shared with them, helping you develop resilience and independence. Or maybe their absence motivates you to pursue dreams or goals you had set aside. Growth often arises from discomfort, and the void left by someone's departure is no exception. It's also important to understand that the space created by someone's departure is not just a physical or emotional absence, it's also an energetic one. Relationships require emotional labor, and some connections can drain more energy than they give. When these relationships end, it can feel like a weight has been lifted, even if the initial separation is painful. The energy you once spent on maintaining the relationship becomes available for other pursuits, self-care, creative endeavors, or building healthier relationships. In these moments of transition, it's crucial to resist the urge to fill the space too quickly or with the wrong things. Sometimes the discomfort of emptiness tempts us to rush into new relationships, distractions, or habits that may not truly serve us. But filling the void impulsively can lead to more harm than good. Instead, allow yourself to sit with the emptiness, to feel it fully, and to trust that it will eventually be filled in ways that are right for you. This process requires patience and faith, patience to allow things to unfold in their own time, and faith in the idea that the universe, life, or whatever you believe in has a plan. Trust that the space created by someone's departure is not a permanent void, but a temporary pause, a reset that prepares you for what's next. The space left by someone's absence is a gift, even if it doesn't feel that way at first. It's a chance to realign with your true self, to focus on what matters most, and to welcome new possibilities into your life. It's a reminder that endings are not just about loss, they are also about beginnings. And sometimes the greatest growth, joy, and fulfillment come from the opportunities that arise in the space someone leaves behind. So the next time someone walks away, don't see it as a loss. See it as a chance to create something new, something better, something that aligns with who you are meant to be. Holding on to relationships that no longer serve you is like carrying a weight that drags you down. It's emotionally exhausting and mentally draining, yet so many of us cling to relationships out of fear, comfort, or a sense of obligation. Letting go of toxic or misaligned relationships is not an act of cruelty or abandonment, it's an act of self-respect. It's about choosing peace, growth, and happiness over stagnation and conflict. When you release these relationships, you free yourself to live a life that truly aligns with your values and aspirations. Toxic relationships are often hard to recognize, especially when they're deeply ingrained in our lives. They may not always involve overt mistreatment. Sometimes they manifest as subtle patterns of disrespect, manipulation, or neglect. These relationships can exist in various forms: romantic partnerships, friendships, family dynamics, or even professional connections. While each toxic relationship is unique, they share a common thread. They drain your energy, compromise your well-being, and prevent you from becoming the best version of yourself. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go of a toxic relationship is the emotional attachment that often accompanies it. You may feel a deep sense of loyalty, love, or responsibility toward the person. Perhaps they've been in your life for years, or you've shared meaningful experiences together. These feelings can make it hard to see the harm they're causing. However, staying in a relationship out of guilt or fear of hurting the other person ultimately hurts you both. It creates a cycle of resentment, frustration, and unmet expectations that benefits no one. Another reason people hold on to misaligned relationships is the fear of being alone. Human beings are social creatures, and the thought of losing a connection, no matter how unhealthy, can be terrifying. But being alone is far better than being in a relationship that diminishes your sense of self-worth or prevents you from growing. Solitude can be a powerful opportunity to rediscover who you are, what you want, and what you deserve. It's in these moments of self-reflection that you build the foundation for healthier, more fulfilling relationships in the future. Letting go of toxic relationships also requires acknowledging your own boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your mental and emotional health, yet they are often disregarded in unhealthy dynamics. Toxic individuals may push, ignore, or belittle your boundaries, leaving you feeling disrespected and devalued. Recognizing when your boundaries are being violated is the first step toward reclaiming your power. By enforcing these boundaries, you send a clear message that your well-being is non-negotiable. The process of releasing a toxic relationship can be incredibly painful, but it's also transformative. It forces you to confront difficult truths about yourself and the other person. You may realize that the relationship was built on codependency, unmet expectations, or a desire for validation. While these realizations can be uncomfortable, they're also liberating. They allow you to break free from patterns that have been holding you back and create space for healthier connections. It's important to remember that letting go doesn't mean you hate or resent the person. In fact, it's possible to release a toxic relationship with compassion and forgiveness. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior or allowing them back into your life. It means freeing yourself from the anger and bitterness that can keep you emotionally tied to them. Forgiveness is not for their benefit, it's for yours. It's a way to let go of the past and focus on your future. Once you've let go of a toxic or misaligned relationship, you'll begin to notice a shift in your energy and perspective. The space that was once occupied by conflict, negativity, or stress is now open for positivity and growth. You'll find that you have more time and energy to dedicate to your passions, goals, and the people who genuinely support and uplift you. This newfound freedom can be both empowering and exhilarating as it allows you to live a life that reflects your true self. Moving on from a toxic relationship also sets a powerful example for others. It shows that you value yourself enough to walk away from situations that don't serve you. This courage can inspire others to reevaluate their own relationships and make changes that promote their well-being. It also establishes a standard for how you expect to be treated moving forward. When you refuse to tolerate toxicity, you attract people who respect and honor your boundaries. Of course, the journey of letting go is not without its challenges. There will be moments of doubt, sadness, and even regret. You may question whether you made the right decision or wonder if things could have been different. These feelings are normal. But it's important to remind yourself why you chose to let go in the first place. Write down your reasons if you need to and revisit them when the doubts creep in. Over time, you'll come to see that the decision to release a toxic relationship was an act of self-love and courage. Letting go of toxic or misaligned relationships is a process, not an overnight transformation. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to face uncomfortable emotions. But the rewards are immeasurable. By releasing what no longer serves you, you create space for relationships that bring joy, support, and growth. You reclaim your power, rediscover your worth, and align your life with your true values. Letting go of toxic relationships is about choosing yourself. It's about prioritizing your well-being over the fear of change, the opinions of others, or the temporary discomfort of loss. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by love, respect, and positivity. And most importantly, it's about understanding that you are not defined by the relationships you leave behind, but by the courage it takes to move forward. Letting people leave your life is an act of faith in the unfolding of life's journey. It requires you to trust that every ending is, in fact, a new beginning, and that every person who exits your life is making space for something better suited to your growth and purpose. This faith is not always easy to hold on to, especially in the face of heartbreak, loss, or confusion. But believing in the process of life allows you to let go with grace and embrace the opportunities that follow. When someone chooses to leave, it's natural to feel hurt, betrayed, or even abandoned. These emotions can cloud your perspective, making it difficult to see the bigger picture. But life is not random. It is full of patterns and cycles that often make sense only in hindsight. People come and go, each playing a role in your journey. Some are there to teach you lessons, others to support you, and some to push you toward change. When they leave, it is not necessarily a reflection of failure or rejection, but of the natural evolution of relationships and circumstances. Trusting the process of life begins with accepting that not everyone is meant to stay forever. Some relationships are seasonal, meant to serve a purpose during a particular phase of your life. They help you grow, challenge you, or provide comfort when you need it most. But seasons change, and clinging to a relationship that has run its course can prevent you from moving forward. Trusting the process means recognizing when it's time to let go and believing that the next chapter will bring what you need. This trust also requires faith in yourself. When someone leaves, it's easy to question your worth or blame yourself for the loss. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? These questions can spiral into self-doubt and insecurity. But letting go with faith means understanding that your value is not determined by who stays or goes. You are whole and complete regardless of others' choices. Trusting the process of life involves believing in your own resilience, strength, and ability to navigate whatever comes next. Believing in the process also means embracing uncertainty. When a relationship ends or someone walks away, it often leaves a void, a sense of emptiness and unknown. The future feels uncertain, and the temptation to hold on to what is familiar can be strong. But growth happens in the space of the unknown. It's in the moments of uncertainty that you discover new possibilities, strengths, and paths. Trusting the process means leaning into this uncertainty, knowing that it holds the seeds of transformation. This perspective doesn't come easily. It requires a shift in mindset from focusing on what you've lost to focusing on what you stand to gain. When someone leaves, instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Try asking, what is this teaching me, or what opportunity does this create? This shift in perspective allows you to see endings not as failures, but as transitions. It opens your mind to the idea that life is constantly working for you, even when it feels like it's falling apart. Faith in the process of life also involves trusting that new people, opportunities, and experiences will enter your life at the right time. Sometimes we hold on to relationships out of fear that we won't find anything better. But life has a way of bringing the right people into your path when you're ready for them. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you make space for these new connections and experiences. Trusting the process means believing that what is meant for you will not pass you by. One of the most beautiful aspects of trusting the process is the freedom it brings. When you let go of the need to control every outcome, you release the weight of worry and resistance. You stop trying to force relationships to last or people to stay, and you allow life to flow naturally. This freedom allows you to focus on what you can control: your own actions, mindset, and growth. It's an empowering shift that helps you move forward with confidence and peace. It's also important to acknowledge that trusting the process doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or suppressing your pain. Letting go is often accompanied by grief, sadness, and even anger. These feelings are valid and necessary to process. Trusting the process means allowing yourself to feel these emotions while still holding on to the belief that better days are ahead. It's about finding balance, acknowledging your pain without letting it consume you, and maintaining faith even when it feels difficult. Over time, as you practice trusting the process, you'll start to notice patterns in your life. You'll see how past endings paved the way for new beginnings, and how the people who left created space for others who were better aligned with your journey. This awareness strengthens your faith, making it easier to let go in the future. It becomes a cycle of growth, trust, and renewal that enriches your life in ways you couldn't have imagined. Letting people leave your life is an act of trust in the natural flow of life, trust in your own resilience, and trust in the idea that everything happens for a reason. It's a reminder that you are not defined by who stays or goes, but by how you navigate the transitions in your life. By embracing this trust, you free yourself from the fear of loss and open yourself to the beauty of what's to come. And in doing so, you honor the journey of life in all its complexity, uncertainty, and infinite potential. When someone leaves your life, it is tempting to internalize their departure, questioning what went wrong or blaming yourself for the separation. These reactions are natural, but they are often misguided. Their choice to leave usually reflects their own needs, priorities, and personal growth, rather than a statement about your worth or value. Recognizing this truth is liberating. It allows you to release feelings of guilt or inadequacy and see their departure as part of their journey, not as a failure on your part. Human relationships are complex, influenced by an array of factors, including emotional needs, life circumstances, and personal growth. Sometimes people leave because they feel they've outgrown the relationship or because their path no longer aligns with yours. Other times, they may be dealing with challenges or emotions that have nothing to do with you, but compel them to seek distance or change. Their departure does not mean you were insufficient or unworthy. It simply means their journey required a different direction. When someone leaves, it's important to avoid the trap of self-blame. The mind has a tendency to replay moments of the relationship, searching for clues about what you could have done differently or better. This self-critical narrative can be damaging, leading to unnecessary doubt and regret. The reality is that relationships are a two-way street, and no single person can bear full responsibility for their success or failure. Their decision to walk away often stems from their internal struggles, desires, or needs, not from a shortcoming on your part. It's also crucial to recognize that everyone views relationships through the lens of their own experiences, insecurities, and aspirations. These perspectives shape how people connect, communicate, and make decisions. For instance, someone may leave because they feel unable to meet your needs or because they perceive that they don't fit into your life anymore. Their perception of the relationship and their role in it may not align with yours. Understanding this can help you see their departure as a reflection of their perspective, rather than a judgment of your character. Another key element in reframing someone's departure is understanding that growth often requires separation. People are constantly evolving, and with growth comes change. Sometimes the changes in one person's life create a natural divergence from others. This is not a reflection of failure, but of life's fluidity. Relationships that once felt vital and harmonious may no longer serve the same purpose as individuals grow in different directions. Recognizing this truth allows you to appreciate the relationship for what it was while accepting that its time has come to an end. This perspective becomes even more empowering when you consider your own journey. Just as others may leave your life to follow their path, you too may have had to walk away from relationships that no longer aligned with your values or goals. Did leaving make you a bad person? Likely not. It was simply what you needed to do for your own well-being and growth. The same applies when someone leaves you. Their departure is not a condemnation, but a decision driven by their circumstances, values, and aspirations. In many cases, people leave because they are searching for something they believe they cannot find within the relationship. This something could be clarity, independence, or a sense of purpose. Their departure is part of their search, and it's not your responsibility to provide them with answers or fulfillment. You cannot control someone else's journey, nor should you feel obligated to. What you can do is focus on your own growth, knowing that their choice was not a rejection of you, but a step toward their personal evolution. Letting go of the need to take responsibility for someone else's departure is a profound act of self-love. It allows you to release the weight of their decision and focus on your own well-being. Instead of internalizing their choice, you can use it as an opportunity to reflect on what you want from your relationships and what you deserve. It's a chance to realign with your values, prioritize your happiness, and open yourself to connections that are healthier and more fulfilling. It's also essential to avoid personalizing someone's actions to the point where they dictate your sense of self-worth. Your value does not diminish because someone chose to leave. People's decisions are often driven by their own limitations, fears, or desires, and these have little to do with your inherent worth. You are no less deserving of love, respect, and kindness simply because someone's journey took them elsewhere. Understanding this truth doesn't mean dismissing the emotions that come with loss. It's natural to feel hurt, sadness, or confusion when someone leaves. These feelings are valid and deserve to be acknowledged. But while it's important to grieve the end of a relationship, it's equally important to separate your emotions from your sense of self. Their departure may cause pain, but it does not define you. With time, you may even come to see their departure as a gift. Their absence creates space for you to deepen your relationship with yourself, pursue new opportunities, and form connections that align with your current journey. It's a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more attuned to what you need and deserve in relationships. Instead of viewing their departure as a loss, you can reframe it as a step toward a brighter, more authentic future. When someone leaves, it's not about you, it's about them. Their departure is a reflection of their path, their choices, and their journey. By understanding this, you free yourself from the burden of guilt, self-doubt, and blame. You allow yourself to heal, grow, and move forward with grace. And most importantly, You reaffirm your own worth, knowing that it is not tied to who stays or goes, but to the person you are and the life you are building.